Good day, sir. New edition Admiralty Sailing Direction. Sailing directions are updated by a process of continuous re- revision, with titles republished as new edition at approximately the 3-year yearly intervals. Some volumes indicated in the catalog of Admiralty charts and publication are on extended cycle of approximately in 5 years. Supplements Admiralty Sailing Direction. Some, usually older edition of Sailing Direction, continue to be amended by supplements are generally published every 4 years. They are cumulative in nature so that each supplement on publication replaces its predecessor and any section for notice extend since either publication of the most recent edition or since the previous supplement. In entirety, when an edition of Sailing Direction is ordered, any extant supplements pertaining to that volume will be supplied automatically with the parent volume. Current edition Admiralty Sailing Direction. To determine the current edition of Sailing Directions and their latest supplements, if applicable, and for information regarding the publication dates of new edition, see Annual Notice to Mariners Part 2. Amendments to Sailing Direction. This information can also be found in Catalog of Admiralty Chart and Publication, Cumulative List of Admiralty Notice to Mariners, and Quarterly at Section 1B of Weekly Edition of Admiralty Notice to Mariners. Admiralty List of Lights and Fog Signals. Each list of lights volume is kept up to date into a continuous revision cycle. This means that it will be continuously revised by its editor of a period of 1 year using information received in the OCHO. It will then be republished as new edition, normally in the same month annually. Publication of new edition is announced in Part 1 of the weekly edition of Admiralty Notice to Mariners. During the life of the book, important safety of life at sea or SOLAS amendments are used in which week in Section 5 of the weekly edition of Admiralty Notice to Mariners. Minor amendments are not issued for the paper books but are available in the Admiralty Digital List of Lights or ADLL. All minor and SOLAS amendments are included in each new edition of the book. Admiralty List of Lights and Fog Signals. Each edition of the Admiralty List of Lights and Fog Signals contains the latest information received by OCHO and supersides of the previous edition. Subsequent updates to each book will be included in Section 5 of the weekly edition of Admiralty Notice to Mariners, copies of which can be obtained authorized Admiralty agents or via the OCHO website. The insertion of week amendments should be recorded on the table at the front of each volume. The amendments of which accumulate during the book printing period will be found in Section 5 of the weekly edition of Admiralty Notice to Mariners, which announced by publication of the new edition. A cut-out new edition note is pasted into the new edition to be pasted in. It is recommended that a manuscript entry is made for the all shorter amendments. The entire entry for each light amendment will printed including minor changes. In a asterisk amendment in the case of a new light, an asterisk will appear into a columns. Remove from list will be used when a light is withdrawn. And remove the fog signals when a fog signal is discontinued. Admiralty list of radio signals. Each edition of the Admiralty list radio signals contains the latest information received by the OCO and super series of the previous edition. Subsequent updates to each book will be included in Section 6 of the weekly edition of Admiralty Notice to Mariners, copies of which can be obtained from authorized Admiralty agents or via of the OCO website. Noted, NP284 is only updated by new edition. The insertion of weekly amendment should be recorded the table of the front of each volume. The amendments which accumulative during the book printing period will be found in Section 6 of Weekly Edition Admiralty Notice to Mariners, which announced the publication of new edition. A cut out of new edition note is pasted into a new edition first amendments box. New and extensively altered entries are intended to be pasted in. It is recommended that manuscript entry is made for all shorter amendments. The weekly edition numbers is shown as all amendments. The appropriate indexes and diagrams should also be amendment. If necessary, colored version is this may be downloaded from OCO website. A cumulative list of amendments is published quarterly in Section 6 of the weekly edition of Admiralty Notice to Mariners and provides a summary list of entries in the current edition which have been amended. That's all.